Hey, right, in this video we're going to be starting to build out our React application. So let's see here. Let's go to backend. First, let's just make sure that our backend server is running. So npm run dev. Then we're going to go to front end, open up in the integrated terminal, and we are going to do an npm run dev there. Oh, it's actually npm start for this particular template. Something's already running port 3000, that's fine. Okay. So that's getting started up. And there we go. So what I want to do is head over to index.js. I have my router set up, that's good. I'm going to go over to app.js. Okay. And I'm going to clear everything out. Okay. So this app is going to require me to send things kind of in a lot of different places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up context. So that way I have access to a global state. So I'm going to create a context object. So I want to say, and I need to export it so I can use it somewhere else. So export, well, I'll just call it global context. Okay, equals react dot create context. No. Cool. And that should be export const. There we go. So this way I can import this context somewhere else. Debating whether I should bother to make a component to save my a hook. Nah. Okay. So here we go. So with that, what I want to do is wrap my app component with the global context dot provider value. We're going to be passing in for now just an empty object. Okay, nice. So global context provider value, good. I'm going to create a global state property. So we'll call this const. I'll just call it gstate set gstate equals react dot use state, and this will start out as an empty object because I don't need anything in particular there. But the idea is that context should set an object that's going to include the gstate. Yeah. What should I call it? Yeah, I guess we'll just keep the same name. gstate and set gstate. So those will, so now that's in context. I can grab it from any component that needs it along the way. Okay, cool. So that's set up, and let me think here. What should we do first? First thing we should do is probably create a navigation bar. Okay, so let's create a header component. So I'm going to create a folder called components, new folder, components. And in there, I'm going to create a header component, header.js. And we are going to import React from React. Okay. Cool. Import React from React. Then we're going to create the function. So const, what did I call this header? Header equals props Okay, and this is going to essentially be a navigation bar. So what I want to do is return a nav tag. And the nav tag will have our menu options. So we'll sit there and say, and these will be just link tags. So right now I just need link to, we haven't created our routes yet, but I'm going to have a link to the sign up page. Sign up. And a link to the login page. Cool. So that is necessary. Okay, save. And then I'm going to go back to app.js. I'm going to import header. Import header. Oh, I didn't export it. Export default header. And go back to app.js. Import header from /components/header. Good. So now that's brought in. Oh, I forgot to import link from router here. Import link. I gotta destructure it because router, these are all named exports, so they need to be destructured from React router DOM. Okay, now in app.js, we're gonna bring in the header component and we'll put that right in here. Header. Cool. Save. Now one thing I'm going to want in my context or in my global state is going to be the URL, because I'm going to need that all over the place. So the URL is going to be, the base URL is http/localhost, right now localhost 3000. Okay, that's going to be the base URL. I'm not going to include that last slash. Okay. And cool. So that's header. Nice. Now I need to create my switch with the different sections. That'll be the main, sort of the main area. So I'll create a main tag. And then here put the switch. Okay, which I need to import from router. So import route. I need to import link, because I'm sure I'm going to need it in a bit. And I want to import switch from React router DOM. Okay. So why doesn't it not like that? Okay, just for some reason the server died. Well, I'll come back to that. React router DOM. Let me think here. And then here we're going to have some routes. So right now, route path equal slash, and that one I want to have an exact path, but I'll add that afterwards. Path, and then it's going to render. And right now, all it's going to render is an H1. Home. Okay. Anything else I want to do there? Yeah, so let's close that. And let's create the other routes we think we're going to need. So I'm going to need one for sign up. I need one for login. I need one for the dashboard. So sign up. Login. Dashboard. Okay, and then we'll just put these here. Sign up. Login. Dashboard. Cool. And for this, we are going to say exact path. Okay. So that's that. So let's run the server again. Yep. Let's wait for that to open. Valid hooks, call hooks can only be called inside the body of a function. Oh, I have an idea what I did. Where did I call it outside? Oh yeah, I created the state outside the function. Oops. Control X. This should be in here. There we go. Save. Okay, so there we go. There's like the sign up. That should supposed to be sign up and log in. But so if I say click on sign up, it takes us to the sign up page. Log in. Okay, so we're cooking. So let's style this link stuff though. So let's see here. Let's go to our index.css. Let's do some nav styling. Let's just like to block these things off so it's clear where I'm doing what. Okay. That just has to do with my special styling thing that I have going on. So let me just do this. Nav styling. There we go. And I'll take advantage of my color tool. So, boop, there we go. Nav styling. It's a extension called Better Comments if you wanted to use it. So I created all sorts of custom colors that I can put in little symbols to kind of signal that that's the color I want. Okay, so let's see here. Nav styling. I want to style the nav tag. I want the nav tag to be display flex. I want it to justify its content, space around. And yeah, that should be good. Just like do some padding. So border 2 pix solid navy for now. And padding 4 pixels. Cool. Let's see how that's looking so far. That's better. But I want to make those headings, so we'll make these H2. Okay, so there we go. Sign up. And we want to create like maybe a heading right above this. So what, I'll do that in app. So above the header, we'll have an H1 that says React Notes. And we will style that H1 by saying so there's the class app, and it's an H1 that's a direct child of an item with the class app. I want to, and is it class app or is it an ID app? Class name app, yep. Class app, I want to center it. Text align, center, save. So let's look at it. React Notes, neat. Oh, I still need to fix that text. Okay, going to the header here, sign up, log in. Okie dokie, save. Neat. And I always just like to give this a little bit more spice. So let's go to here and put a span. around the notes part. Okay, let's go back to index.css, do another style, .app, h1, span. So it's a span that's a child of an h1, that's a child of the app class. And the color of that text will be navy. No, I don't think that took. Let's see here. H1, oh, is it H1? Let's see here. H1, span tag, notes. Seems to me that should take. Navy. What I'll do is make that the background color. Background color, navy, and then make the font color white. Okay, let's see if that takes. Not taken. H1. Think about this. This is an H1. That is a child of class name app. Oh, it's uppercase app. That would make a difference, so I need to fix these. App and app. And there we go. React notes. That's fine. Okay, cool. So now we can do this. We can set up our sign up login page. Okay, so what we need to do is create another component. Now since this is a page, I'm going to create a separate folder for these. New folder, I'm going to call this pages. And in this folder, I'm going to create a file name signup.js. Cool. Except I think I created another folder. Delete. New file signup.js. I'm going to just copy this just to speed things up. Okay, and what I want here, do I need link? I don't think I need link here. What I am going to need is the context. Import the global context from /app. Let me just make sure that's what I called it. Global context, good. So, because I want certain details from there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is destructure the global state and set g state from the context. So I go equals react.use context, and that's the global context. So what this does, it pulls that object. So again, an app, we sent down this object here. And then I'm just destructuring that object on the way out. So now I have these two things separately. Cool. Okay. Now from the global state, I'm going to want the URL. So const URL equals gstate. Okay. Again, we'll add variables as we need, because I'm going to need the URL for when we make the API call. So now this is going to be a form. So we're going to have a div, because I'm going to want to do some styling of it. Then we'll have the form inside of the div. And then we just have an input of type equals text. The name equals password. I mean username. And we'll leave it at that for now. Then I'm going to need 2 more inputs. So the next one will be a password type. And the other one's going to be a submit type. And this one's going to be password. And this one's going to be a value property, which equals sign up. Cool. Oh, still looking for the closing form tag, so let's give it that. There we go. Let's save so that way it pretties it all up. Okay, and there's our form. Now let's see here. To do a form, we need a state for the form, so we need to save the form data in a form. So the way I would do this, I usually always create like a form. I'll just do form variable. Usually I do form data, but why type so much? Form set form equals react.useState. And it's going to be an object with a property called username, which starts out as an empty string, and a property called password. That's an empty string because we're binding the values. Again, watch my intro to React playlist if you're not familiar with what I'm doing as far as handling forms. We're using functional components. Okay, cool. So username, password, good. So now that I have that, what I need to do is bind the form to those values. So in this case, the value equals form.username. Okay, and that's all fine and good, but the form still doesn't work with just that. I need something to update the state as the form updates. So I always have to create a handle change function, which is always exactly the same. Const handle change equals the event, pass it the event, and then what we do is we are going to set form, keep what's currently existing in form, and then take a property that's named after the form field, so event.target.name, that's the name of the form field that's currently being edited when this event gets triggered, and we're going to change that key to event.target.value. And that should always keep this up to date with the form. And again, I need to pass this in an object, so I need to wrap this in curly brackets. And there we go. So that's all that function should do. And now I can pass this to onChange. Anytime the form field changes, so we type in the form field, run this function. Handle change. Handle change. Okay. On change. Handle change. Good. And I need another curly bracket right here. Okay, and that's all fine and good. So this form should now function. It still doesn't do anything, but it should function. So let's go import this into app.js. Import signup. Actually, let me go back over here and take a look how we did this. This is going to become sign up. And I got to export sign up. Okay. So import sign up from /pages/ sign up. Okay, so then instead of rendering this h1 here for sign up, the sign up page, we're gonna actually render the sign up component. But I need to pass it some props. I want to pass it this. These are the router props. I'm going to need those. So I'm going to do a curly bracket, and in there I'm going to do a spread operator with the render props. That'll just make sure that all the props are in there as individual items. And right now I think that's good. It's really kind of all I need there. So I could have made that simpler, but I always like just the default to this kind of setup, just so that way I can pass more props later if I have to without too much refactoring. Okay, neat. Okay, first let's go test it out, see if that page renders. So let's see here. Yep, see there's the sign up form. Cool. Yeah, I guess that kind of works. Yeah, let's do some basic form styling before that drives me nuts. So let's go back to our sign up form. Let me just take a look at how this is done. Form. Okay. So let's go back to our thing here. App.css. It's not the CSS I was doing. Oh, I was doing index.css is where I was doing this stuff. Okay, so let's do this again. Now this will be form styling. Let's give it a color. Good. And I want to style an input whose attribute is type equals text. Okay, I don't want to do all inputs. Okay, and then I want to give it some padding. 5 pixels. I want to give it some margin. Say 8 pixels. Background color. Just make that navy again. So that means the font color needs to change. Color will be white. And background color. Border, we'll say is none. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, that's looking okay. Let's say font size is instead like 24 pixels. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, now I want the password to be pretty much the same. So I'm trying to think if there's anything here that I wouldn't want on the... Yeah, the password can be exactly the same. So I'll do a comma. I also want to style inputs of type equal password. And let me think, does the sign up button, does the submit button really need to be any different? I guess that could also be the same. Not doing anything I think that would conflict with any of them, so we'll just do that one as well. Input type equals submit. Okay, so that looks a bit better. Okay, I can live with that. Ooh, that's not good. See, when I type in here, it's editing there, so that means I bound them to the same variable, so I need to go back and fix that. So let's go back to my sign up form. Let me see here. Yep, see here I said form.username, not form.password. There we go. Cool. Okay, so basically this form is set to go. We just need to actually have it do the fetch call when we do a fetch. Okay, so what I want to do is create a handle submit function. Const handle submit equals, takes an event because it's an event handler. And handle submit, what do I want it to do? I want it to well, let's take let's borrow our fetch from our test for sign up. Control C. Take that back into our sign up component. It shall do this. Okay, but in this case, instead of /auth signup, I want these to be backticks, because AD here is to minimize typing, so that when we deploy our official API, we don't have to do too much refactoring. So in this case, this will be URL, because we've destructured that if I remember correctly. Double check here. Yep, we destructured URL. Again, that's a post, content type application. But again, here we're just going to grab, we're going to also destructure the username and password. So const username and password from the form. So we'll take that out. So that way, this becomes that. Okay. Then we get the data back over here. Now what I want to do is I want there to be a logged in property that tells you that you're logged in. Oh, but this wouldn't do that anyways, it's just sign up. So all this should be doing is we want the console log the data just to confirm that we did it. And we want to use props.history, because this is something that the router props includes. Props.history.push, that'll push us to a URL, and we want to push it to /login. So they sign up, and then it pushes them to the login page. Yeah, that should be it, and then resets the form. So then we have to then do a set form. Actually, I don't want to do that. But I can do that there. That's fine. I'll still do it here just to play it safe. Set form. And then we're going to set form back to the original. So actually, to make that even more succinct, here's what I'll just do. I'll just make a variable called blank, meaning a blank form, and make that equal the empty object. So instead of typing that twice, I just go here and say, hey, initialize the state as a blank. And then when we reset the form, we just say, hey, reset it to a blank again. Okay, nice. Okay, yay for variables. So I'll hit save. Okay, and let's go over here. Let's go back to the main page. So I go here, I click on sign up. I'm going to open up my DevTools. Okay, so far that's fine. Tag switch is unrecognized to this browser. You mean to render a React component? Oh, yeah, that's fine. We'll fix that in a second. I just put it lowercase by accident. But let's just see here. We'll just say test1, and the password will be cheese. I'll hit sign up. Okay, did that push me up to the login page? It did not. What it did do, it shows username, test1, password cheese. It exposed my password. Oh, because I didn't do event.prevent default, that's why. So we never actually attached the handle submit form. So right here we need to do handle submit. First off, we have to do event.prevent default, so that way it doesn't refresh the page. And I need to attach this handle submit function to the form. Submit equals handle submit. And while I'm at it, I might as well fix that switch. See here, switch needs to be capitalized, and we're good. Okay. So now when I look at this, this is all looking good. Let's try this again. Test1, cheese. I hit sign up, and it worked. So see, I see in the console, a new user was created, and I've been pushed to the login page. Okay, which we still need to create. Very good. Okay, so I'll do the login page in the next video. So I'll see you guys there.